Mike's Daily Podcast.
I can't believe I'm doing a super secret Sunday show. Yes, unbelievable. Episode 1588, 1588. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. Today, we hear from some people. Madame Rutabaga Valentino.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Bison Bentley. It's all happening here. Hey, you know what's going on in the Bay Area?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's this little cute thing. It's called Ageism. And I think we look at people through a prism and we don't realize that, hey, just because they're not young and have their hair, all their hair, and there's some issues with them because they're older and they got wrinkles.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We're not going to hire them. That's how it is in the Bay Area. Totally ageist place. I tell you, it's
Mike's
especially
Daily.
And I don't want to
Podcast.
complain too much because you can't really do that. But if you're white and old and male, bye. And you're looking for a job and you're not a CEO. But enough of that. It's even worse for other people. I know. That's a thing. Ageism. And it's probably worse if you're not white and male and old. But at any rate, that's going on. Hey, somebody walked in. Hello, my commander. It's Madame Rutabaga, and I feel so sorry for you. Oh, it's not me. I wasn't talking about me. Okay, I was kind of talking about me. I was more talking about me 8 years ago when I was trying to find a job, but then everybody was having issues trying to find a job. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, it's so good to be here in Podcastro Valley today.
Yeah, Pastor Galvin. Do you know that? That's right. We're in Podcastro Valley today. We're not in Podcastro Valley Mont. We'll do that tomorrow if all goes well. But it is a super secret Sunday show. The rain has passed. The Bay Area will now become hot and warm and brown. Right now it's green.
And here's today's podcast
It's
picture.
Still green. And speaking of, let's go 6 years back. There was this time I went to the Middle Harbor Shoreline Park in West Oakland. You may not have even heard of it, but it exists. There is the Chapel Hayes Observation Tower and this little park. And at this little park, there is this cool little sign that warns you not to get too close to the edge because you'll fall off and die. And you'll fall into the bay and you... Oh, hey, Basil. Basil wasn't with us that day, though. Yes, I was still married then. And so we walked out to this little point, looked so interesting, and you can see all the cranes, the AT-ATs, that Lucas modeled his AT-ATs after the big cranes that pull all the cargo stuff out of the ships in West Oakland. And you can see that picture now at mikesdailypodcast.com, which I tell you, you must go to. If you have not been to, go to mikesdailypodcast.com because it's all about this show. And yes, it's about me, but it's about the show. If you like this show, it's all kinds of parts of this show. And even the blog. The bloggity blog, as my friend Vince likes to call his Vince in the Bay show. He talks about, you can go see my bloggity blog. And he talks like that. And he mentions his bloggity blog. So I will mention my bloggity blog. It's all there at mikesdailypodcast.com. And so that, please go. Go to it. I don't care if you're listening to this on Stitcher or TuneIn or iHeartRadio or iTunes. Go to mikesdailypodcast.com at your earliest convenience and you can check out more about this show and you can be more of a fan. And then I can get my money out of having a stupid website. Because sometimes I'm thinking, I don't need it. But then I'm like, I own mikesdailypodcast.com. And I need to hold on to it, I guess. I don't know. Hey, Wall Street Journal probably is wallstreetjournal.com, I would imagine. But they have a video page. And I was... Oh, excuse me. Hold on. My ear is so itchy. Oh, itchy ear. That must mean someone's talking about me somewhere. I'm talking about me. Wall Street Journal. And I'm right here. They have this web page that's all about this girl. Her last name is Stern. I forget her first name. It's like Jessica. And she's pretty. And she walks into, and she's a writer for the Wall Street Journal, younger lady. She walks into this elevator, and there's always some celebrity in there that has created a massive empire or has something big to do in business. The guy that created those vacuum cleaners, that British guy who, you know, my new cyclone machine creates the wind factor that sucks up all the mites that live in your carpet. And then there's Shaq showed up, and a couple other different people were in the elevator with her as she discusses. She goes, "Can I ask you a couple questions?" And it's whimsical, it's funny. And I watched it for quite a while last night because it's the only thing I can watch on my TV now, because I refuse. I'm an early cord cutter. I cut the cable, the TV aspect. I said, I'm going to stop watching all the stupid channels. I hate commercials. I hate hearing about all these things that help you with your body if you have diabetes or if you're sick, whatever, all these things. I'm sick of those. I'm just sick of the commercials. But I love I love the internet, and I was watching YouTube on the internet. And they have their own commercials, that's true, but it's usually, you can click out of them. But my TV allows me to watch Wall Street Journal for some reason. It's got a Wall Street Journal app on it. And there are no commercials with this. Suffice it to say, it is just advertising the Wall Street Journal in every possible way. But it is showing you these interesting videos. And one of them is this guy in San Francisco. And I love watching his little thing. He's always talking about tech. And he did this great video, it's probably 3 minutes long, about Snapchat, which I used for a little bit, and I can't figure it out because I'm old and I'm dumb. But it is fascinating to watch what they've done to Snapchat. They've updated it and changed it. You know, they went public. Their stock went public about a year ago. I almost bought some. I'm glad I didn't, because it still hasn't gotten past where it was when they first sold it. It did for a little bit, but then it's like back down again. But the Snapchat, he talked all about, this guy was talking about, well, this is what's different about it. This is why you have to delete a lot of your Snapchat friends. This is what's on the right side of Snapchat now, is all this stuff going on with news, and you can see the Kardashians like we need to see them any more than we have to on a regular basis. So I love that. Oh, and he is doing this while he's over in this one particular area. If you are in the Bay Area, all you got to do is get on BART and get off at the Embarcadero. And as soon as you pop up anywhere you walk within a half-mile radius, you will be where that guy films this thing. Because he's always right there on the Embarcadero, or he's back a little way. He went to Schroeders German restaurant, which I went to, which was crazy expensive. I went there with my ex-brother-in-law, and it's actually the whole where he did this little video where he was talking about cord cutters like myself and what you can do to do in place of TV, how you can get certain services like, is it Sling Blade, it's a Kaiser knife, taters, or whatever. He is explaining all that at the exact spot of the bar where I was with my ex-brother-in-law, where we couldn't sit down because it was so packed, so we had to sit at the bar and had like tater tots that were like $50 and drinks that were crazy expensive and just ridiculous. I hate how expensive San Francisco is. Foodie, forgetty. I'm dunny with the Yeti. I'm dunny with the foodie And I'm not going to be a foodie anymore when it's crazy expensive, stupid expensive. It's dumb. What's the point? I'll try and make it at home. You can talk about it all you want in your magazine articles, on Travel Channel, on Food TV. I don't care. I don't need to pay that money to buy stupid food. And the atmosphere is crap. And where was I talking about? It's the Super Secret Sunday Show. Hey! Trying to diminish the March for Your Life march yesterday with the kids is what is all is happening in the conservative talk world, will be what's happening in the conservative talk world this week. There was already some of that going on Friday, where conservative and jaded white men, sometimes like me, but I refuse. What the kids were talking about yesterday, the high school kids, the kids that actually survived the shooting, it just, everything that moves me when I see that is moving, is what I'm trying to say. It's so moving. Everything that they had to say is what I'm trying to say. So moving, the things that I heard them talk about. And they're going to try and diminish that this week. The conservatives, the white man, white list. What? Should I play that? If I can find it, I'll play it right here.
Wine.
Well, I like it.
The whiny white man wine list.
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander.
Somebody on Facebook, and yes, I still go on Facebook, and I don't see anybody deleting Facebook. Whatever that hashtag was saying last week, which I strongly believe in, deleting Facebook. It's not that easy. Wall Street Journal actually walked you through a very interesting scenario with the video of the 3 ways to get rid of Facebook. And one of them being that you can actually go and delete your Facebook account, but you have to go through all these weird back channels in your Facebook profile, and you have to go and actually do a search, and it's just really complicated and stupid. And then there's the other, you can take a break from Facebook. That's one way where you just put it off to the side and you don't lose any of your stuff. That's a problem with deleting your Facebook. You lose everything. You lose all those photos you uploaded. And for me, that's been 9 years of uploading pictures. So I don't want to lose any of that. So you have to do this massive download, which it allows you to do. The other thing is you can do a break. And then there's this third thing that I forget who she was talking about it, but she mentioned the third thing you can do, which is you can go into your settings and immediately disconnect all the third-party apps that created this whole issue that happened last week with World Britannica, what was it, Cambridge Analytica, that crappa, kakalaka, mikamaka. I went Hawaiian there or something. So that's what's going on with Facebook. But back to somebody put on their Facebook, hey, what are these kids talking about? Let's vote them out. Which is funny because he was doing a play on what the kids are saying is vote out these whiny white men that want to keep guns, that are in the pockets of the NRA, that are like, oh, don't touch my guns. Oh, I gotta have the gun that shoots a gazillion bullets out in 1 second, and I gotta have all these bump stocks, and I gotta have all this stuff. Why? Unless you're a soldier defending this country, there is no reason why you need that, in my opinion. But you want to, you know what? Why? Here's the interesting thing is, so you've got guns. Ooh, I heard an interesting sound just then. Did you hear it too? It was the sound of a liberal rant about to happen, but I'm not going to go there, you know. Hey, I think that we need to look at a little bit of the news. What do you say? Let's look at the news. So Zuckerberg, back to him and Facebook, he said, I'm sorry, oh so sorry. He took out a full-page ad in several British and American newspapers today to apologize for the breach of trust in the scandal. You may have heard about a quiz app built by a university researcher that leaked Facebook data of millions of people in 2014, say the ads. This was a breach of trust, and I'm sorry we didn't do more at the time, which is exactly what he said on CNN. He's just repeating this exact same. This is now put into the ad. Featuring black text on a white background with a Facebook logo, said the company was now limiting the data apps get when users sign in, and also was investigating every single app that had access to the large amounts of data before it fixed the problem. Facebook will be reminding users which apps they'd previously given access to. Well, that's good. Giving them the opportunity to shut off the ones that they don't want anymore. I promise to do better for you, said Zuckerberg. And it said the company's value, by the way, this whole scandal, plunged almost $50 billion last week. Interesting. Mike Hughes, who has said that the earth is flat, he's a flat earther, and he said, and isn't it funny how we do that? What is it? The birther movement, flat earther movement. We like to put a after something. The hate Facebook movement. It's self-taught rocket scientist Mad Mike Hughes. He blasted off into the California sky, and he landed after one of his parachutes failed. He landed on the earth, thankfully he had a second parachute, and hit the ground pretty hard. Paramedics looked him over, said he was okay. He said he's going to feel it in the morning. But there you go. He finally blasted off in a homemade rocket, a steam-powered rocket that he had built in his garage. Wow. They've been girlfriends for about 80 years now, ever since elementary school. That is these 6 women. That's in the LA Times today. And they talk about books, politics, and grandchildren. Oh, one of them is from Woodland Hills, where I used to live near there. And they get together, and isn't that nice? Yeah. It's a whole long article. I'd read it to you, but then it would sound like I was reading from an article. I don't want to do that. Australia, UK, the first non-stop from Australia to the UK. Between Australia, it touched down in London's Heathrow Airport. The first time this has happened, a non-stop flight. That's 9,009 miles. And the Qantas has accomplished this. So there you go. Russia denies aiding Afghan Taliban in the wake of U.S. generals' comments. And Russia has rejected comments by NATO's top commander in Afghanistan that it had been supporting and supplying weapons to the Taliban. U.S. and North Korea have reached an agreement on trade and steel tariffs, revising the allies' 6-year-old bilateral trade deal and President Donald Trump's plan to impose tariffs on imports. Steel tariffs. And finally, 7 things to watch out for the Stormy Daniels interview. That's supposed to happen tonight. In the Stormy Daniels interview on CBS's 60 Minutes. Boy, there's going to be a bunch of lawsuits going back and forth. The interview has so far been shrouded in mystery. Even Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti, acknowledged today that he is not entirely sure what will be included in the segment. He also teased the possibility that Daniels will unveil hard evidence to back up her claims. Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, alleges that she carried on an affair with Trump in 2006. She's a porn star. That's her porn name is Stormy. She also says she was paid to remain silent on the matter as the real estate mogul sought the presidency in 2016. Hanging over the interview are questions about whether she will throw out a non-disclosure agreement with Trump and speak openly about the alleged affair. Will she give details about the non-disclosure agreement? Will she talk openly about the alleged affair? Will she mention possible video or photographic evidence? Will she address whether she was physically threatened? And will she discuss whether Trump knew about the $130,000 payment? Also, why does she want to talk about the affair now? She'll discuss that and what happens next. There may be hints of what Daniel's next steps are. Planned court hearing for Daniel's lawsuit is still months away. However, whatever Daniels reveals in the interview may force the hand of Trump's own legal team. After news broke that CBS intended to air the 60-minute segment with Daniel, speculation swirled that Trump's lawyers would take legal action seeking the broadcast. Such legal action would have been unlikely to proceed because courts rarely allow such prior restraint of speech, particularly regarding the news media. But Trump will just yell, fake news, fake news. And Trump's legal team has already signaled they're willing to fight Daniels on her claims. They reportedly asked for a temporary restraining order against her last month and have asked to transfer the lawsuit from California state law court to a federal court in L.A.
Because you'd be in jail.
Anyway.
As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcast Valley. Hey, look at that. We've gone 21 minutes. My gosh, we got to wrap it up. Hey, I got to see Albert today, my 77-year-old friend Albert. My dog, Basil the Boxer, went right up to his gate. The gate was open, so Basil walked right in, and then I'm running after Basil, and next thing I know, I'm hanging out with this cool Portuguese guy who I've talked to before, and I've talked about on the podcast before, and he offered me this drink that is big in Portugal that involves some like whiskey, and it's mixed with this sort of sweet lemony type of drink. I forget what he calls it. Portia, something like that. But it was fun to see him, and then I had to rush off to work in Podcastro Valley 10. Thank you for listening to the show. Next show, we will have the wonderful Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, and we will get to hopefully a good week ahead, a short week for some of you who get Good Friday off. A holy week. Palm Sunday was today, so it is a holy week to many of you. Or some of you. I don't know what my demographic is. Jesus. Hey, next show. People, Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening to the Super Secret Edition of the
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.